Hello and welcome to Adrift. This is episode 13, and I know because I checked. For today's episode, we have Lady V, the CEO, and we're going to break down what CEO means in just a moment for Lady V. But Griffin, welcome. Griff, dude, actually, I saw a photo the other day from a photographer. I wish I remember their name, but I'm pretty sure it was you. And I was like, why did I know that guy? That's crazy. So small world, dude. Al Luis Entertainment, what's up, what's up? Kevian, hello. MD, hello. Been a long time since we've talked. It's good to see you on here. I spoke with Lady V earlier, so I know she'll be on. We just a brief moment, so it's all good. But how's everybody's Thursday going right now? I just want to know, man, because so far my Thursday has been awesome. Other than being a little sniffly, we won't talk about that. Let's not feed that energy. But for the most part, it was cool. I actually replaced my brakes by myself. Scary work. Yeah, dude, what's up? I am well. Yeah, just like I said, it was a little sniffly earlier, but I'm feeling pretty good now. You can always tell because my eyes are like not really open, but if I get a little sniffy, they're like not open at all. So, fun fact. Hey, Lady V's here. All right, excellent. I'm going to ask her to join. I'm going to see how to do that there. If I haven't figured it out by now. Awesome. Whoa, I'm low. Hello. How are you? Hold on, let's fix there we go. Yeah, let's get all set up here. Beautiful. How are you?
I am well, and I'm happy now because I'm with you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. Just a real quick thing. Your audio seems a little distant. Is there any way you could get a little closer to the iPad, maybe?
Let's see how that works. How am I sounding now?
A little bit better. Yeah, a little closer. That's good.
Let me see. Excuse me, guys, while I try the technical difficulty situation going on here. Okay.
I know. No, it's all good. We always want to start off with a good, clean slate. Just real quick, I'll respond to Kevian. Yeah, you know how to change brakes. I do too. I was just telling just before you joined, as you work out the audio, I replaced my own brakes on Tuesday, and it was such a great experience to do something without sending it to the shop. So that was really awesome.
Nice. Excellent.
Yes.
How do I sound?
You sound a lot better. Yeah, definitely a lot better.
Okay. You're not going to be able to see my glitter though. See, I wore glitter for you.
I want to see the glitter. Come on, let's figure out a way to see the glitter.
Okay.
Come on now.
I'm going to do my 1960 pose and
Ooh.
sit like this. Maybe I feel like maybe up, and I'm good. I think I'm good. At least you can see the glitter because you're so worthy of glitter. Glitter
Yeah.
and gold.
Thank you. I feel emboldened. Thank you so much. I put on a very intelligent looking cardigan for today, so
Okay.
that's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling.
Good. And hopefully our stand will pay attention and do the right thing. Are we good?
You're fantastic.
Good.
So thank you so much for joining. I want to do our little intro, and then we could jump right into it. How do you feel?
I feel phenomenal.
Beautiful. So for those of you who don't know and who will be tuning on whether now or later, Lady V is the CEO or creative enterprise owner. I like that. She sips her tea. She's like, yeah, I'm going to get that full nice intro right quick. She's like, or creative enterprise owner of the diversity-minded Lady V's second time around. It's a vintage clothing brand, and it's incorporated, which fashion, styling, and images from the inside and out. She is also a licensed You Can Heal Your Life and an let me correct myself, licensed You Can Heal Your Life coach and an international workshop facilitator. Since the pandemic, she has been running virtual workshops for women focusing on self-love and healing, drawing interest from overseas. I know, you're so quick with it. Lady V prides herself on being a member of the following collective teams: House of BAV or Born Again Vintage, Lux Curated, and Sustainable Fashion Week US, and continues to use her platforms to inspire growth, well-being, and the general advancement of humankind through fashioning a positive mind, style, and image. Lady V, we welcome you to Adrift.
Thank you. I am so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be with you.
And I'm so happy to have you. You know, it's amazing because when we first met at Manhattan Vintage, and I don't want to say this as if like, you know, there weren't a lot of great people there because just about everybody was, but there was something about your energy that just was so, just drew me in. And it's amazing that that was about maybe 2 years ago. And here we are having this conversation. And yet I feel like I've known you for so much longer than that.
That's the way the spirit world works. And the same goes for you. I believe open people, when you're open to receive, you receive. And you know, I knew you were interested in getting to know Manhattan Vintage more, because you love photography. And I just embraced you because you're embraceable.
Oh,
I mean, listen, who can't embrace you? I need to say, when age is not a number anymore, and you see spirit self, you just want to just hold them, just hold them. And you were that kind of guy. You knew what you wanted. You knew you wanted to take photographs, and you were willing to give it away.
oh, of course.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll do this. I do this. I love this. And then I think later on you were hired to actually be the
Yeah, yeah.
hello.
That was actually so insane because they came to me and they were like, "We love your photos. Come back." And it blew my mind because I really just did it because I wanted to connect with people. It was my first time ever at the Manhattan Vintage. It was my first time kind of dipping my toes into that world. I've always loved vintage, and I've always like thrifted, and a lot of my clothes are actually thrifted. So it was really crazy because I just went there for the experience, for the, like you said, the spirit, and I just wanted to connect with people. And you guys were so warm. But then I got to your table and you were just filled with so much life. It was just like, just life in such abundance. It was beautiful. And so again, I'm super happy that you could join us today because it feels like a long time coming.
I need to tell the truth, okay? I started out my career as a middle school teacher. And
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to interrupt. You actually know somebody you taught somebody in middle school that I know very well. You know, Erica Regine.
oh my God. Okay, see? All right. Oh, yeah, okay.
She's a really good friend of mine. It's crazy.
And you know what's good about Erica is you can share with Erica, if she doesn't come on today, that this is the result of me working with young people for 30 years. It does not go away. It continues. It grows as they grow, as I grow. And this kind of energy is infectious. It's a good infection, you know. And I think I pride myself on coming from that career and coming around the second time around and having the kind of narrative, this kind of teaching I really, 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 really wanted to teach, because, you know, the curriculum is designed by our other friends, right? But yeah. But so now I can develop my own curriculum, and I can use it in two ways with the Heal Your Life work, but also with those clothes. Those are my babies. When people put them on, we start telling stories. You know, oh my God, I remember my grandmother. Oh my God, I remember my mother. Oh my God, this is how it felt in that era. So listen, I gotta blame it on the children.
You know, and I think it's fantastic that you're talking about how these different paths all stem from the same space ultimately. And I say this and that it's so crazy because Manhattan Mannequin, his name is Damien Joel, fantastic person. I feel like every other episode I mention something he said to me. And he said to it on one of the episodes, he goes, you know, it's not the art form that defines you. It is the reason behind the art form that defines you.
And exactly.
And that it blew, like on that episode, if you see my face when he said that, I was just like mind blown. And so he just commented right now, true legacy. And everything just feels like it's in perfect alignment right now.
It is. It is. It is. And yeah. So Rahul, yes, Manhattan Mannequin. You're absolutely correct. And that's the way I think this whole relationships. It was natural. It was organic. It was just allowing to let your good, your God, your good in and say, hey, I'm ready for it. Come on with it. Come on with it. See,
Yes.
sometimes, and this is what happens with the business, I experience fearlessness. Not
Mm,
to say that I am, listen, I'm human. I got fear. I've experienced fear. I do. But when I get in those shows and I get involved with people, I experience what fearless feels like.
mm,
Fearless feels like, whoa, I'm like up here, higher consciousness stuff. I'm connecting with
yes.
people. The body is nice, but the daggone spirit is better. It is a phenomenal experience. And that's kind of like what I miss about us being all together. The Manhattan Vintage Show crew, the Grand Bazaar crew. I was supposed to travel to London, pop up in London. So these kind of feelings and experiences have to be recreated,
Yes.
and even in that recreation organically as well. I call my sister-in-law. She says, "Oh, Vivian, please." She doesn't let me. Vivian, please, you know what to do.
Mm.
Like, come on, this is in March. She says, you know what to do. And she was right. I had to admit I was powerless over this daggone virus. I could not do anything about the virus, but I was not helpless.
I love that you said that. That's a very important distinction, that you were not helpless during this virus. Because, yes, take the time, and I've said this in other episodes, take the time, process. I know I needed it. I know my peers have needed it. But without taking that time, it's difficult to overcome it. You can't really bulldoze through something like this. Maybe you can with other things, but this you most certainly cannot. So your sister's absolutely right. You
Yeah,
have the answers. We have the answers. It's just a matter of recouping and getting back on it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Beautiful. So just I wanted to touch on something before we really, really jump in, because there's just so much I want to talk to you about. And you had said that that's one of the things about getting older is you start seeing spirit more than you see the body. And I love that you said that, because I feel fortunate enough that I'm actually turning 31 on Sunday, and it's it's wild to me because I'm there. Like, I get to see people for who they are, where they're at, and move forward from that perspective. And that's something I've never really had before. It was always very superficial, you know. You see a person's face, you see a person's body, maybe what they have as a younger person. But even photography, to a certain extent, gave me the opportunity to look beyond the person in the photo and see what they were willing to offer and how authentic they were being. It's been a really blessed experience to become a photographer, and later in life, it's been awesome.
I I wasn't able to create the words that just said, when I was your age. But there were
Mm-hmm.
certain behaviors, there were certain things that I was able to. I don't know. It's the universe teaches us, and
Yes.
then the universe says, okay, you can define it as that, or you can write it up as that, or you can describe it as that. But one of the first things, and I started teaching in Brownsville, and I thought of this thing. I gotta find the God in each child, because there's some bad behind acting kids in there. I ain't say they were bad. I said bad behind acting. And I had to find the God in each of those children. And before I came to that revelation, I had to find the God in me. I had to say, yeah, you're worthy. You got something to give up in here. You can't let these kids scare you out of here. You love them. So, and this was in my late 20s. But I didn't, as I grow in grace, I learned different terms to say the same thing I said when the same thing I meant in at 28, 29, 30, 31. and
Mm.
somebody planted the seed. You know, it might have been an elder planting the seed, just talking random, you know. But one of the things that I really held on is finding the God, the good in every child, you know. And so when you talk about your photography, you know, and I love photographers because it's a serious art form.
Thank
And
you.
so you look beyond the lens, you know.
Mm.
And I don't know, like when I go to the shows, I'm like already centered. All right, God, let me find a God in every customer. Let me see how I can help somebody, you know.
Mm.
And then I get the fringe benefit of selling too. Wow, cash is not a bad idea, you know.
It's
So
not. No.
yeah, so I think it really, age is not, it's who you are around, who are you attracting in your environment, who's coming to you whispering in that ear, you know, that cosmic ear there. So that I think is a gift that you have and that you'll be able to grow with, you know. And you'll be like putting a spin and a swag on it, and I'm like, yo, phenomenal, you know. What did you say to me? Growth and something. What did you write as a
Oh, always
motivation?
grow. Always
Always
grow.
growth. Right, right.
It just doesn't stop. It
It
doesn't, and you know,
doesn't.
it's wild. Yeah, because that's my email signature, and I didn't, you know, when I was writing it, I didn't want it to be something just like best or sincerely, you know, like it just felt a little contrived. I wanted it to have value. Every time an email is received and a message is sent, I want this intention to be placed on that. And so I love that that resonated with you because I love even having the conversation about it when people are like, yeah, always growth. It's like, yeah, like it's
Yeah.
always growth. You don't ever stop. You and as an aside, even the name Wake Up Fresco, it's not one of those things about being woke. You know, like people like to say sideways about that is I don't think that we ever wake up. I think it's a process. You know, I think it's a continual process of waking up every day and with every action, with every intention set. It's just one little speckle that gets you closer to this grander whole, this grander spirit. And I think to me personally, that's what waking up is. It's a long, long, long term process.
Yeah, yeah. And when you and one of the things you spoke about is creating brands, and I think when we speak about creating brands, what we are is we're talking about intentions. What are our intentions? And I think intentions are things that we can feel. And when we feel the intentions, the brand becomes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not like, okay, what's my brand gonna be? No, what you know. I went to FIT. I studied. I have a certificate in creative enterprise ownership, image consulting, and they were speaking a language. You might as well say I was learning French.
I know that feeling.
Branding. Those were new terms. I didn't teach my teachers to teach children how to talk about branding and all of that, right? And but the more I understand branding, the more it's something like the 10 things grandma and grandpa and mother and father taught us when we were 5 years old. You know, you want to have these positive intentions. You want to
Mm.
give to somebody what you want to receive, you know? And that's what begins the building, the momentum. And then you say, oh, yeah, I know Lady V because. And that's
Yeah.
the brand, you know?
Yes.
So that's how it
I have
happens.
I have to
For
say
me.
I've never heard it put in such a simple yet valuable way. You know, because you're totally right. You know, you've always you get a lot of people who are like, "All right, I'm going to start my business." And then it's like, "Okay, what's my logo?" Well, I like wolves, so it's going to be a wolf, and my favorite color is blue, so it's going to be a blue wolf. You know, it's like there's no real meaning, purpose, or intention behind it. You may feel connected to that person because you know maybe you like wolves as well, but a better example of that would be a good friend of mine, actually my photographic mentor, Jeff Tisman. He put puts on social media every time he donates to a wolf conservation site. And so when people work with him, it's a much different thing because he's not intentionally doing it for branding, but he's trying to raise awareness through his brand. And as a result, people want to connect with him because they also feel the value of land conservation, of animal preservation. And that in and of itself is, to your point, branding, and it's valuable. People want to connect to that. So I think you're a fantastic example of that because when I met you, you were so full of life. And I feel that when people wear the clothes that they've purchased for you, or maybe even when they go to like one of your seminars, they feel closer to that light. They feel closer to that abundance of life. And that's what you provide for them.
Yes, and also just for anybody who's new and they're starting off their business and they have a situation, how did I get red and white? Why was it red and white? Because I'm a Delta. It was easy. I belonged to a sorority. It was easy. I was but the connection to the sorority.
Right.
So what's
Yes.
that? How is that color gonna build the momentum to make me go charge? You know,
Yeah.
and then being a Delta and being a legacy. My mother was a Delta, so I'm a legacy selling vintage clothes. It just makes sense. It makes
Yes.
sense. You know, so it's like when I started the business, if I knew what I knew now, would I change? I'd change a little bit, absolutely.
Of course.
But you know, I wish I had me talking like this, you know, about starting a business and knowing like I didn't know what the blank I was doing and I made many a mistake. But I had fun. And that's another thing. This was not like, oh my God, if you have this business and it fails, you're a failure. You know, this was fun. This was a great project for me. It's just been able to maintain me in a way that I'm happy. I'm not, you know, I'm really happy, and it's drawing a lot of great people in my life.
Beautiful. And you do quite a lot. I mean, during the intro, we talked about House of BAV, Lux Curated, Sustainable Fashion Week. You do a lot. So if you don't mind, would you like to kind of break down what each one of those, what I suppose, void or purpose each one of those fills for you and those around you?
Absolutely. So, you know, everything is a blessing. Sometimes a lesson first and then a blessing. And I have no qualms about Bridget Ortiz. She was the attractor, and she's a professor at FIT. And I was supposed to take her class because I started vending. I started out as a vendor at Long Island City Flea. And somebody said, you know, you should go take a class at FIT. They got this great teacher. She teaches about vintage clothing. I'm like, yeah, I'm going back to school.
Yes.
And I'm telling you right now, I have enough degrees in my back pocket. I do not need another degree, but I do need information. And FIT gave these certificates out. You know, you got these. But anyway, Bridget had the humiliated gall to give me another teacher who I really love. But she went out to Texas or somewhere to do her dream come true. 6 years later, we come back in a circle, and Bridget, I finally take a class at FIT with Bridget. Bridget and I fall in love with each other. And that's another thing. I can fall in love with people.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Authentically, openly, yes.
It's like a spirit attachment. And so we did a couple of pieces, and she said to me, Vivian, I have this opportunity. I have a store opening. And I really would like you to be a part of this collaboration. It's about 5 or 6 of us. And I said, I am honored. I am so honored, you know. So I'm featured there. And so she is the co-founder of Sustainable Fashion Week. And so this is, they've taken this, and David Ryan, or David Rye, I think his name is, from Brooklyn, who also was Brooklyn Fashion Week founder. They both got together, and they're doing the Sustainable Fashion Week, supported by Rutgers University, FIT, September 11th through the 16th, and it's going to be virtual online.
Hey. All right, so we're checking it out. By the way, real quick, so the Instagram is just so people know, so they can check it out. What's the Instagram for that?
Sustainablefashion.us.
Perfect. Okay. I'm just gonna type that down as you continue, so I could pin that.
Right. So and then we could blame it on FIT. I met another woman, Fiona Ted. And
yes, who is an absolute dream. I love Fiona.
She's my girl. She's and so we started talking about we have a friendship now, but we want to expand this into a business friendship and partnership. So she's consulting me because my dream, I don't know if you're young and old enough to know Sim's department store.
No.
Okay, so
I might have missed it.
Okay, so their thing is educated consumer is our best customer. And
educated consumers are their best.
Yeah.
I love that. But okay, yeah.
So as an educator, I want to educate my customers about the fashion that they are purchasing. And Fiona is a historian. She's been in the field for a large part of her life, and she brings such great information. So we're doing a collective, and my babies are going to have a name, and they're going to have substance, and they're just not going to be on a rack and a mannequin. So that's us.
And that's Lux Curated, right?
Yes. She's the owner of Lux Curated. So, and what everybody has this commonality is we're all educators, and we come from that FIT NYC tribe. So maybe I'm doing a shout out for FIT NYC. But so that kind of is the relationship. And one of the things I wanted to point out is I think you said something about how do you work with collaborators or collectives in this time of COVID-19 in your business? My answer to this is one of the best things I like about me is I'm vulnerable, which means I don't know it all. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Isn't that wonderful? And I'm not scared to tell you that. And I can tell you that without minimizing how good I am at some great things. Whoa!
That is such a rare quality in people. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
And so that, so when I come to somebody or we're collaborating, it's I'm coming to the table with 100% of me, and you're coming to the table with 100% of you, and we're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna rock and roll. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And I said, oh my God, I don't know where you're going but I'm so glad I'm number 13 in your episode. I said, I'm with a star.
I have to say, there is no, I shouldn't say there isn't a goal with the show. The show, and I've said in the past that I really want this show to be a deep diving experience. And even from the first few minutes of us speaking, it's already gotten to a depth that most conversations don't even make it to. It's so hard to be what you said that you are before, and that's vulnerable. It's scary. It's absolutely horrifying. And I think I honestly have to say, for me having my own brand, and for me even branding Adrift, it was scary for me to be this vulnerable. It was scary for me not to have a script. You know, it was scary for me to show myself in my space, in my world, and just put it out there. But like you said, it's just so beautiful to do that. And I've been so fortunate because I have people who bring that same sense of vulnerability and that same sense of openness. And I only really ask people who I feel will bring that. You know, and it's not to be like cocky or arrogant. It's just so important for me into the show to have people in this particular space in their life, in their minds, in their souls, because that's so rare and you don't get that all the time. So I'm fortunate that I even made it to 13 people and that every single person is
13
so,
episodes.
yeah,
13, not 13 people, 13 episodes. Let's get it right. You had
that's
13
crazy.
Wait, you had 13 people in the 13 episodes, but you had 13 episodes.
That's
Episodes are
crazy.
a bigger word than people, okay?
I just, it's crazy. I put such a maybe this isn't crazy. I put such a premium on the value I place on each one of those people. You know,
Okay.
like it's like
Okay.
I am so filled with joy and I'm so content that like this many people operating again from this place are willing to come on the show and share their piece of themselves as I share a piece of myself, you know. And it's fantastic because like even with your brand Lady V, second time around, right? You when we first met, I asked you what the kind of motivation for your brand was, and you said that the second time around component was so important because each piece had a story. And that's how I feel about people. That's how I feel about these conversations, is each person has that story. They have a little piece of that puzzle, that big old puzzle. And I think that if we speak to enough people, even outside of the show, you know, speaking to a neighbor, speaking to, a person on the street, you know, obviously, you know, it's not as safe anymore, but with COVID, but even just having conversations with new minds, they have information that you will never have if you never speak to them.
That's right.
And that's what's so beautiful in having this episode and in everything that's led up to it. Because that conversation we had led up to this, and we don't know where else that'll lead us. We have no idea what other amazing, beautiful things we're going to do together.
Absolutely.
But this is already a fantastic foundation.
I look forward.
As do I. As do I. So, so interestingly enough, in keeping with the theme of spirit, what is it about Lady V's second time around that feeds your soul? What component of that is so important to you?
I come from a place where image was defined by the society I lived in. And it was never enough. I didn't fill up the tank. Everybody else filled up the tank. I might have got 3/4 filled, but I didn't fill up the tank. There was some kind of belief system that it was embedded in me. You know, it's the belief system of my parents. It's the belief system of the people of my heritage. And I really, you know, I believe and I know that slavery is really released by me, through me, and in me, because there were many chains I had to break in order to be this person right now. But I realized that the self-image is my creative place, and what I say is good enough, and I define, and I love there's a thing where the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, I think it was, is Kuji Chakalia, self-determination. And they said, and I define myself. And I
Yes.
I define my beauty, you know? So when it came, but I love clothes. Come on. Who doesn't love clothes?
Of course not.
I knew that the clothes were going to be the attractor. right? So, and I love clothes. I love shopping. I love shopping vintage clothing. And because it has history. My background is a history teacher, social studies teacher in middle school. So I mean, it's just organic that I do these things.
I was
But
going to say that's very appropriate.
yeah. But I knew that the clothes were going to attract the audience that I would eventually be able to teach. Now, and that's what happened. And it wasn't the exact people that bought the clothes, but it led to a place where I had a platform. I had 1,700 followers. I had not word to word, people to people connections, and I spoke about it, and then so we evolved in this. I've had 3 6-week workshops, international. I mean, one of my clients, Sweden, UK, all parts of the Americas, talking about taking these strongholds off, cashing these old beliefs out, and beginning a new story as I define my story according to Vivian, according to who they are. And it's just been like, oh my God.
Ooh, I'm like getting chills. I'm getting chills.
And
Oh.
so I am uncovering as well. I'm much more confident in this beautiful, wonderful body that takes me all over the place. And I did have to even apologize to it for having it try to live up to somebody else's standards to say I'm okay. Are you crazy? Oh man, what? So
Oh.
so with the workshop,
that just resonates so much with me.
Yeah.
Just because, a little spoiler alert, I am in a chapter as well, I'll just put it this way. I'm in a book speaking on personal experience, and I shared something very similar about that. So the book's not out yet. We're still under the detail phase, but I'm very excited for it to come out, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of that. But I just wrote my section of it today. And what you just said, all of it, I mean, what you've been saying has been so relevant to my experience thus far. And it's so fascinating because one of the things with, and I'll be completely transparent, that I've dealt with growing up was anger because I never felt like I was enough. And it was like sandpaper, like constantly going against the grain, like I could do nothing right. If I got a C, it should have been a B. If I got a B, it should have been an A. If I got an A, it should have been an A plus. If I got an A plus, you should have gotten extra credit. Like it just, in the very metaphorical sense. And it was only through art and what I like to say, exercising this energy that I needed to let out and putting it into some place where I could operate from a higher, from an accepting, from a loving and giving place, that I could let go of that anger. I could let go of those shackles. I could, like you just said, define myself according to my own needs, my own beliefs, my own standard. That is so incredibly, it was hard for me. I can only imagine what it's like for other people, but I know for me, it was such a lifelong process. And I know I'm fortunate to have gotten this far at 30 because you walk down the street and even before COVID hit, you look around and you're just like, I don't know how far along they are. This is kind of scary. Like, it's like, there's something that comes when you chase your dreams. There's some big, grand, like, epiphany that happens where you realize that you are wholly responsible for every single thing that happens. And when it comes to you, you know you deserve it. You know it.
And I know I have a higher power, intelligence that got my back. And he is always accessible.
Yes.
Always accessible. And I don't have to call it a name. I just know it's greater than me and he got my back. And I don't
Mm,
know, I think I'm been conditioned with saying he, but I don't listen.
right?
How you define it, but I know it's love. I know it's joy. I know it's everything that I deserve because I'm worthy of good.
Yes. Yes.
And
And
I
I just,
yeah.
as a quick aside, I just really appreciate that you acknowledged that you got conditioned into saying he.
Hmm.
That is another very valuable resource that you just expressed right there, is being able
Wow.
to be self-aware of your self-awareness. No, seriously, think about that. It's crazy. You just noticed something you did while you were thinking about something you did. Like,
Listen, wait. But the thing is,
what?
like, listen to me. I don't want to put a daggone square box on something that is so phenomenal and beyond. And
Mm,
the fact that I'm working with people who are of different religions, different,
mm,
and I see God in them, and they see God
mm,
in me, and we're doing even exchange.
yes. Mm,
What?
well,
I don't want.
yeah.
Listen, don't. I don't. No, honey, please give it to me all. If I can't handle it, I'll figure it out. I won't figure it out. I don't know. I get what I get, but yeah,
Right.
I am in touch with that. I am into because I am a spiritual person. I'm a spirit. Religion. I love you for taking care of me to the time you took care of me, and I set you free. And thank you. And I
Mm,
still learn. I still learn. I don't. I'm not in a box.
mm.
I'm in. I'm
I'm
not in a
sure
box.
I've had people say to me that they thought I was crazy until they sat down and really listened to what I was sharing with them.
Uh-huh.
And I imagine some people must feel that way about you. Like, how is she so happy? How is she so filled with this energy? And it's so confusing to some people because they don't know where that comes from. Like,
It comes from the higher power. You call it God. This one call it Jesus. This one calls it Goddess. This one. Listen. It's a power greater than us all. That's where it
simply
comes from.
put, simply put, that's it, done.
That's it.
um, I'm I'm surprised that I'm not surprised because we are already like closing in on our last 20 minutes. So I want to make sure because this has been just like thank you already. I know we still have 20 minutes, but I want to make sure like we have the time. There were a few comments. I just want to touch on those. So Fiona
Okay.
Ted said, thank you for your sweet words.
Aw,
Fiona,
you
you
know
know
what
we
you
love
mean.
you.
Mm-hmm.
You know we love you. Berno, that part, something does come when you chase your dreams. You know you deserve it. Absolutely. So thank you. I'm happy that that resonated. And you also said it starts by knowing and understanding yourself. And yeah, again, very lifelong process, that part, you know, and you will continue to change, at least in my experience, you'll continue to change. You'll continue to discover new little crevices and dark corners that you didn't realize were there. And you're like, wait, I can do that?
Mm.
What?
Mm.
So absolutely fantastic. And Monkey, I absolutely love you. I so used to calling you Monkey, but Erica, I absolutely love this. Thank you both so much. So no, and thank you, Vivian. Thank you so much for even sharing this. If you have a few thoughts, I'd love to get to that. But if not, we'll get right back to the question.
I am okay. I absolutely love this. Thank you both so much. And what was the question, or what do I want to get back with? Because the feedback is, I understand you. You understand me. We got
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
That's what they're
It's
saying.
uh, and I love that. I That's another thing I feel fortunate about with this show is when things that we say resonate with people, it lets me know that there are people out there thinking about these things, that these conversations are important and relevant to what's going on in the hearts of minds of, you know, I don't even want to say like our audiences. These are our people. These are friends and loved ones, their mothers, parents, fathers. They're people who care. They're people who are living. So it's just that's what fills me. By doing this, it very much fills me. So thank you guys for even tuning in, being a
Yes.
part of this. Thank you. So, all right, interesting question because you mentioned a little bit earlier before you were like, so it's it's nice to also make a little cha-ching. You know, cash is nice. how do you, let me ask the question this way. How do you think you can create a brand? And I know you touched on it a little bit, so maybe we can go a little deeper. But how do you think you can create a brand that both fulfills you and generates income?
Um, how do you create a brand? And I know the question because it always starts from inside. And
Mm-hmm.
I would think, speaking to somebody like Fiona, since she's on, um, and because, what do you want? My thing is, and this is what, if I knew, Fiona, if I knew what I knew now, this is what I would do. I would do visualization.
Hmm.
I would do visualization, and actually I did. Matter of fact, that's what I did. When I first started, I did a vision board,
Mm-hmm.
and I put down what Lady V is, what does the brand do? It had to do with image, building a positive image, and that
Mm-hmm.
was going to be the Heal Your Life and the lectures and the talks and the workshops. And then I wanted to do manufacturing,
Mm-hmm.
and I created a logo for T-shirts, divinely made, and put love in the back. Um,
Lovely.
this was the vision board was 3 panels, and then the other one was vintage clothing, and I wanted to shop internationally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those were 3 things I wanted to do. I wrote them down on this big board. I don't want to, because I'm crazy. I'll go show you a vision board I have. But I wrote it
If
down.
you want to, we
It's
will look
right
at it.
there. It's right in my face. But I said, don't get up because you don't want to mess up the thing. So anyway, I wrote it down, and I just kept it where I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so imagine cooking, which I don't do that well, but I mean, I'm learning how to do because I like to eat and I don't always like to go out anymore.
I do too.
So I'm learning how to do that a lot better. But just think about, okay, so you got these 3 headers, and then, because we do have time and because it is the COVID, right?
Mm.
We can always do some pictures. We can cut out pictures, put the vision board up, blah, blah, blah. Then I did, and this is what I did, so I'm not trying to tell you what you could do, but I started out with an Etsy store. That's
What
what
was that?
Etsy store.
Ah, okay, yes, 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 yes.
Etsy store. And so, but you got to figure out, do you want to create a brand, or do you want to create a business that makes money? And if the answer is yes, so you create it. It's really that easy. What happens is self-doubt comes in. What
Mm-hmm.
happens is what the neighbor's doing over there, which is called the competition. I love the
Mm-hmm.
one Rihanna said. They said to Rihanna said, they said, Rihanna, they all got all of these daggone makeup things. And Rihanna said, well, they ain't got mine. Or some she said. Girl, don't compare yourself to anybody else. The ocean of life is abundant. There's enough for everyone.
Oof.
There's enough for everyone. Don't go
Oh.
over there and don't look over there. Don't say, oh, she's doing it better than me. And you know why I'm telling you this? Because I've been there. And I still can go there. I just know what to tell myself when I get there. I just want y'all to know. I
Mm-hmm.
look over there and say, oh, I better not because they already doing it. Or, they're doing it better. Or you know what I do? I compliment people that the ego tries to say, competitive things. I learn to compliment my peeps. If I enjoy somebody and I like the way they rolling, I take the time out to value them, because hating ain't getting me nothing but a stroke.
It's, yes, true. It's just crazy because it sounds like you're literally looking at the flow of energy and you're seeing it come down on your end, whether, in those instances where maybe you feel like, oh, this is competition. And you're like, well, if I bring this person up, look, I'm going to come back up too. That's, wow.
Lessons learned, though. Lessons learned. And I think what happens with the greatness of this pandemic is it
Mm.
forces your ass to, forces you to sit down and take a look.
It does. I thank you for saying that. Thank you. Again, I say so many times, like, being sensitive to those who have lost. I understand it, and I am sorry for that component of this virus. There are so many opportunities on the other side of things where you are being forced to ask yourself, what are you going to do about it?
What's next?
What are you going to do? The craziest thing to me is people saying, like, when we get back, it's like, we're already here. What do you mean get back? Get back to what? What do you want to get back to?
That's
Like,
what
we're here.
Ms. Michelle Obama said. I ain't going back. She's not. No, I'm moving forward, and I'm always
Yeah.
moving forward. Absolutely not going back.
No, no, back to me is a place where we didn't realize how great we had it,
Mm,
you
mm.
know, and how great we still have it to a degree, and not even to a degree, but in a different way. You know, those of us who are still breathing, those of us who are still alive, those are us who are still healthy. We have to take this country, this experience, this world, this planet, we got to put that on our backs and keep moving. There is no back. We already passed that. That's a
Right.
lap. Let's go. We're moving forward.
That's right.
You know?
And I think also when we talk about all of the things that are happening in our world, I would love to make sure everybody knows, including me, that I have the
Mhm.
power to heal the planet.
Oof, yes. Yes.
So when we think about our business, how is my business going to heal the planet or help heal the planet? You know, when I'm in my ego, I'm like, oh, the big grand heal the planet. No, I could just sell my vintage clothing. I can make it possible to lower prices so that people can get vintage clothing because my clothing is a lot of money. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Fiona
Yes.
kills me. She was like, she doesn't kill me. She's Vivian. I'm like, I know, but all of the things that I do in order to get this stuff, and
Mhm.
I'm going around the world. I'm traveling. That's airfare. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Airfare, hotels,
Yes,
food,
exactly.
food.
Come on. That's all in the course. But but literally, and then when we talk about again going back to who can I collaborate? You weren't even born by yourself. You had to have a doctor, or midwife, or your mother. Your mother brought you out.
Somebody had to cut that
It's a we
umbilical
thing.
cord.
It's a we thing. That's what collaboration is. And
Mhm.
ask the universe, give me somebody or some people that I can work with. That
Mhm.
I can make this healing happen.
Yes.
So when we're talking about creating this brand in the COVID-19, looking at where we are, how I can be of service, how can my business be of service? I'm telling you, the money comes easily and effortlessly. Just know that the money is going to be like the things that we're going through right now is money can't pay for right now. Me and you right now, right?
Right, right, right. Yeah.
But the money, I have no problem with money. Okay?
Mhm.
Actually, I do. Um, my vision is to be have a phenomenal financial IQ.
Mm.
So,
Yep.
you can make all the money in the world and then splurge it, and then there's nothing to, yeah. So I want to
Yep.
have that financial IQ, and I realize that money is something that is valued, and I want to distribute it in
Mm.
places that I value. So I shop local. I shop Black business. Healing the planet.
I love it. I love it because you know what? Um, I don't remember if I have talked about this in the past, but it's ripples. It's all ripples. It's like butterfly effects happening left and right. People think that it stops and ends at the money. No, it's the relationships that you build. It's how you engage with the community and other customers, clients, what have you. It's the energy you put out into the world. And the money is like a very small component of that, you know, and the more
No, it's a
attention.
nice big component, but it's just
Yeah.
it's a nice couple. See,
It's a nice one, but I'm talking not just from the business perspective. I
okay,
mean from like the grand
okay.
whole perspective.
Because
But you're right. Let me take it back. Let me take it back. Yeah.
sometimes people don't feel good about talking about money. Because that's who I was. I was like, oh, they shouldn't talk about money. Ooh, we deserve the money too, and that's why I think
Yes.
you made that question. You know, it's not no shame, no shame, but at the
Mhm.
same time, it could. There's enough room on the plate
Mhm.
to have enough money and to do enough service and to have enough value relationship and have it all.
Ooh.
See,
All right. I stand correct.
that's
Yeah.
my world, right? I can have it
Yeah.
all. Why not?
Hmm. I'm feeling good. Girl, I'm
Oh,
about to take over now.
tell on James Brown. I feel good.
Da-na-na-na. Wait, so hold on one second. So we are down to our last 5 minutes.
Okay.
I just want to be mindful of time because I would hate for you to be making this fantastic, beautiful point as you have continued to do throughout this episode. And so I just want to make sure we're mindful and that you have time to share any sort of plugs or any upcoming things that you want to make sure people know about and that they stay plugged in to Lady V.
Okay. Sure. Okay. So everybody knows that we're having Sustainable Fashion Week, and that's going to be September 11th through the 16th. I did see that they're still looking for models. So anybody who's interested in modeling, please make sure you get on that website. Um, it was funny that I don't know why you did it, but it's okay. You showed a picture of my nonprofit
Mm,
organization in Ghana, Africa. It's called
mm,
Basics International. That's my international heart project. It's a nonprofit organization that supports young people in a fishing village in Ghana, helping them to go to school, helping them with social welfare programs, feeding programs, women empowerment programs. So that's basicsinternational.org. Um,
mm.
we're selling some bags by women who made them in the village, right? And you can make donations. That's my baby project. That's my I love them. I love the people in Choco, Ghana, and I love Pat Wilkins, who's the founder of that organization. Um, I have an Etsy page, Lady V Second Time. We're going to start really pumping it hard. I've finished all of my lectures and workshops for the summer. I'll be back on with them in October,
Beautiful.
teaching You Can Heal Your Life workshops. And we're going to ordering from the Cosmic Kitchen workshop. That should be
Hey,
fun. Woohoo!
that sounds exciting.
And the superpower workshop, and all of those will be on my Instagram page. So please join me. Other than that, I promise you I will stay safe, I will
Mm,
stay healthy, I will stay well for myself and for the planet.
beautiful and
Hey,
beautifully stated. Thank you. Thank you for sharing so much of your love, so much of your abundance.
thank you, baby.
Just too wonderful. I am leaving this episode just elated. So thank you so much.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much. And I think we're definitely going to have to do another one soon because I adore speaking with you. I adore the wisdom that you have and that you're willing to share. There's just so much to learn and to share and to just to vibe with.
Thank
So
you.
if you're open to it, let's definitely reconnect
I
soon.
am, because you are one of the requests I've asked from the universe to have a loving relationship with young people so that I can have a purpose with this wisdom and this age and this growth that I've had, and I can pass the baton and share it with you. So this is a dream come true as well.
It's amazing that you said "pass the baton" because that was a phrase that I used in my writing today. So we are in full alignment. It is absolutely nuts. We will speak soon, as you said. You will be safe. I will be safe. To everybody out there, please continue to stay
Yes.
safe, and we'll speak soon. This was Adrift.
Bye bye for now.
Bye now.